what was your experience around crushes at the time? Like your first loves, first heartbreaks?
Oh, God. I mean, my mom was really strict, so I didn't...
Which means your crushes were even bigger and deeper.
How do you think
So true. That is Ariana Grande on the popular podcast Podcrushed. It's hosted by our next guest, Penn Badgley, who you may remember as Dan Humphrey on Gossip Girl. We remember, indeed, as Joe Goldberg also in You. Sophie Ansari, who's also an illustrator and video creator, and Nava Kavelin, who's a writer and a producer. Now the three are out with a new book. It's called Crushmore. It is full of their personal essays about growing up. Penn, Sophie, Nava, thank you guys so much for being here. We love the book. We love the podcast. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Sorry we couldn't bring Ariana. I feel
Such a letdown.
Next time.
But we have the three of you. We're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
So Penn, let's talk about the idea for this book and why you thought this was the perfect project for the three of you.
Well, so we do have a podcast, and I think if it's going to transform and evolve into anything, I guess, I don't know. In the beginning when we started, did we think it was a possibility? I don't think we would have ruled it out, but it was a bit of a surprise when the opportunity came. And then we thought, yeah, I think we can do this. I mean, you know, we are all storytellers in our own right in some way or shape or form. Nava had already been a published writer. I've always been a bit of a hobbyist writer. Sophie...
Not a writer.
But you can talk, Sophie.
Yeah, that's right. I can talk all day.
It's like, Sophie, you bring what to the table? But you think about, one of the things you point out in the book is that so many things happen during this age from 10 to 19. We have our first crush, first heartbreak, first period, first dance, first love, first fight, first loss, first cigarette, first dead body. But
But there's a joke there.
Just so everybody knows. Context. They haven't killed anybody. He's not really a serial killer.
But Sophie, you tell a great story about going to a birthday party at the age of 11. You're just trying to fit in. Your hair isn't like all the other little girls.
Yeah.
And how you felt at that time. And even as you sit here today, there are still ramifications from that birthday party when you were a little kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I've spent a lot of time since writing this thinking about why hair in particular feels so weighty.
Yes.
And you know, over the last 8 to 10 years, I've actually lost a lot of the curl that I used to have. And with it, I've had to contend with a feeling of losing one of the few things that outwardly connects me to my blackness. And I've had to think, like, why does that matter so much to me? Why does it matter so much to me that other people can look at me and say, I think there's something else going on here? Yeah, right. And I think it comes down to something that all of us feel, which is like wanting to be seen and understood, because it's part of my reality. Yes. It's part of my inner world, my experience with my family, our conversations, how I see the world. Being mixed is like part of my framework. And so it really is about wanting to just be seen and understood. But I think growing up, I've had to really figure out, like, how to be okay with just being who I am and letting other people see what they see. And
everybody wants to fit in at that
No doubt, how you see yourself. And speaking of that, Nava, you say this book is dedicated to the 12-year-old version of yourselves. Why did you choose that age? And let me just ask you straight up, maybe this is for all of you, I'll start with you. What would you say to that 12-year-old version of yourself?
We say it in the dedication, you did the best you could. And I really, you know, going through like pictures and reading, like rereading the essays, writing the essays has really been incredibly cathartic.
Of course.
But especially looking at the pictures, I felt so much tenderness for my younger self, and like just knowing what her inner world was and how much like dislike there was of self. And I, you know, I don't know how much of that is inevitable or natural, how much of that is like the social scripts we adapt or the media if we don't see ourselves represented in it. Just a lot of things that I've been like figuring out as I wrote it, but I do feel like I did the best I could. She did the best she could.
And she's doing okay now.
And she's doing okay now, yeah. So I think I would tell her, like, you're doing okay, and like to try to love herself more.
Penn, I like what you write about. I actually went and Googled because we first met you, or I first saw you, and I didn't know it was you, Penn, Will and Grace.
Yeah.
You were 12.
Yeah, you were a little kid.
Yeah, I went back and looked, hey, that was him, because I love that show.
Hey, these guys were insecure. I was on television. No, and I was so insecure, though. I mean, I was a... Look at you.
Look at you.
I was a short, squat little kid.
But you talk about the weight of fame even now, you know, and how you deal with that.
Well, I mean, you know, I think what I do in this one particular essay called In Camera, it's sort of my relationship to the camera and fame. And it's not, you know, what I'm doing there is I'm what am I doing there? I do cite something that Rob Lowe said on our podcast, that fame can be a kind of trauma where it freezes the person who becomes famous at whatever age it is that they became it. And so for me, I realized that it had to do with my relationship with, I wasn't famous at 12, but I did begin this career at 12. I had a career, I was professional at 12, and that's not normal. And so it did have a kind of arrested development effect on me. And so, yeah, and so it's been this funny joke throughout the entirety of our podcast and now our book that I didn't complete middle school because I became professional, and these two were middle school administrators or teachers in some form at some point, which is, you know, that's funny, right?
It is funny. But what I love about this book and all three of your stories is that I relate to all of them. I mean, being multiracial, you talk about being an introvert and very shy as a child, and now you're this famous actor. And your story, all of them interweave into these stories that are just so important for people to understand. But the question is, do you still see yourselves that way? I went back to my 20-year high school reunion, and I thought I'd be cool and walk in there and everybody would be like, oh, he's on TV. And I was like, hey, I saw all the football players, and I was like, hey guys, you guys playing cards? And I was like, oh my God, like I'm such a loser. Yeah. Do you still feel that way?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that my first essay in this, I start with like 1999. I'm 12 years old, arriving in LA for the first time ever. And the truth is, I feel like that person. I was gonna say boy, but like it's apart from age. I feel like that person. Yeah. I actually feel from about the ages of 15 to 25 was when I was in danger of veering away and becoming somebody else.
Yeah, we'll have to. We're running out of time, but I just have to give a shout out to what you wrote about your mom. You said coming of age normally means adolescence, but come of age when you lose your mom. It's. I have to say,
you guys got to read the book. It's incredible.
It's an incredible
Penn, Sophie,
read.
Nava, thank you very much. Crushmore is on sale right now. Up next, Oprah's book club pick. Stick around.
You need something. You don't know what it is other than attention. Maybe you call it love. You're probably not comfortable with that word.
I'm still not comfortable with that word.
Yeah.
I have never called it love.
I'm 77 years old, and I'm not comfortable with the concept of telling someone I love them or I need love from them.
I was like, wow, you look really good for 77.
A ton of work.
That is comedian Conan O'Brien on the podcast Podcrushed, hosted by our next guests. You might know actor Penn Badgley as Dan Humphrey on Gossip Girl or as Joe Goldberg in the hit series You on Netflix. He and his co-hosts Sophie, Ansari, and Nava, Kavelin are out with a new book. It's called Crushmore, Essays on Love, Loss, and Coming of Age. Penn, Sophie, and Nava, welcome. You know, what I love about this book, it's written, I mean, it's like so familiar, right? And we all go through our adolescence, and it feels so lonely. Like you're the only one feeling this. And I mean, I'm 40 now, and even still, it's like you need that validation of like, oh no, we all went through this. So I love the idea behind this book. First, how did you guys all just come about? Where did you meet, and did you think you would be, you know, in this moment as such a team?
No, not to that last part.
I didn't want it.
Oh, snap, really?
No.
Conference?
Yeah, so that is true. Well, so we are all members of the Baha'i faith. They grew up in it. I became a Baha'i at about 28 years old after kind of consciously investigating it in the years after Gossip Girl, a few years there, like 2011 and 2015. So we got together in the Brooklyn community.
I was Penn's facilitator at this conference, but I had watched Gossip Girl as a teen, so it was very stressful for me. I cannot even look at him.
Right. And actually, one of the things we were considering at this conference was the unique potential that middle schoolers have, roughly the age of about 11 to 15, to become spearheads of social change in their neighborhoods if they're oriented in a certain way towards service, towards service and spirituality. This is technically what sort of undergirds the ethos, the principles, the spirit of this project. But what it ends up looking like on its surface is a fun podcast where we talk about a bunch of, like crazy middle school stuff.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that, and Adriana points to it, is some of the things that we go through as young people that we think are incredibly traumatic. And we try to run away from that trauma. And specifically, Nava, you write in this chapter about your mother's passing, you say you didn't want to anesthetize yourself to the brutal experience that is grief. And it made me think, and I've mentioned this book to Adriana before, Max Frankel's Man's Search for Meaning, where the idea of embracing pain and suffering as a way to find grace through that pain and suffering and to get to a better place is something you seem to also have embraced in understanding the impact that your mom's passing had on you.
Yeah, it was a really challenging time, and I would say brutal. And one thing that I'm really grateful for is when other people experience loss, I think I have more compassion and understanding, and I have a sense of like not wanting to rush them through that, which I felt in my process. Even people that I really loved and was close friends with, I felt that a lot of people were trying to rush me through and felt like, oh my God, it's been 3 weeks, literally.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, it's been 3 weeks. Why do you think I should be over this? And I felt like because there's this culture of not talking about it and even people not sharing how difficult the experience is, if others haven't been through a loss like that, they don't know. So I, from really the moment my mom died, would like constantly post about it and felt really emboldened to like share with people that this is really difficult, people need support, and like people should be allowed whatever the time that they need to process those feelings, and that we should give people like a lot of accompaniment in the process of grief.
I mean, this book really is such a companion,
Yes.
for people through their highs and their lows and lighter moments.
Even through death.
Even for death. Yeah.
I mean, I'm kidding, but it's true. It's true. We actually do address stuff that is so weighty and has that much gravity.
There's also a lot of levity.
There is.
And I delighted in you writing about your love of R&B.
Oh, yeah.
A section about
Thong song.
Somehow feels like
Thong song.
all of a word.
that can't handle it. Exactly. So tell us about how your love of R&B, your love of the thong song has inspired you.
So I do. I mean, I grew up for whatever reason, just always soul music, rap music, jazz music. It was always like the music that spoke most to me. Growing up actually without any kind of spirituality or religion in my life, I think it was a bit of a main line because it's the music that in some ways talks most openly about that stuff. Also sex. And that was, so as a kid hitting puberty, it just like my love for the genre already existed, and then it just, you throw those hormones in there, and it really was something to behold. It was music that so I also love to dance. And one of the essays I do kind of make this whole thing out of my love for Sisqo's music. It's not tongue-in-cheek. It's very,
very real.
I loved Drew Hill. Drew Hill was my number one. Sisqo then, in his solo career, became my number one. And he put out Thong Song, and
he's still good. He's mentally lost.
Yeah.
Like, go.
What more does anyone need?
So you're dancing alone in your room, like?
No. So I would take classes. I took all right. So I took dance classes.
I'm gonna go here.
I took dance classes when I moved to LA as like a 12, 13, 14-year-old, and I did love to dance. I always loved to dance and sing, and then I was able to sort of formalize it for a bit. And one Sunday afternoon, my church, Sisqo. The Thong Song was the song of choice, and I was one of the youngest kids in the class.
Oh my God!
And so this is in one of the essays, and I don't want to spoil it because something happens at the end.
Yeah, we won't. We want people to read this book because it's really good.
Yeah.
And you do say that there should be more spaces for adults to find ways to dance and to dance. Yeah, I dig that. This book's incredible. You guys are incredible. This is such an important book, I think, for people because, as Adriana says, we've all been there. We all know that's why it relates to so many people. Yeah. Thank you all so much for being here. Congratulations, you have twins.
Thank you.
You got four boys under the house now. I hope they're dancing.
Yeah, they are. They're swarming.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I have 2, and I'm like, sorry, what?
It's 4. Crushmore, Essays on Love, Loss, and Coming of Age is available now wherever you buy your books.